welcome back. I'm so happy to have you here again and continuing on this journey this week with me and with each other in starting to make this connection with yourselves through yoga. So far this week, you have learned about some myths about yoga, hopefully recognizing that those are exactly what they're called, myths. They're not true, and I hope that debunking those myths has shown you that yoga is accessible to you and to anyone else that wants it to be a part of their lives. So yesterday we had a chance to talk about the root of yoga, which is the breath, and we looked at how we've been taught to hold everything in when we breathe, and then we were just practicing unlearning that, breathing into our bellies and establishing that connection to ourselves through the breath. And honestly, if you can do that, if you can connect with your breath, you already are doing yoga. Today, we're gonna add that next part, a little bit of movement, connecting the breath with the physical movement, which is the other aspect of yoga. I'm just gonna move through three really easy postures that allow you to focus on your physical self, that allow you to feel into what's going on in your body, and that allow you to breathe into those movements as well. Just to give you a little bit of an introduction into yoga movement, and also showing you that, again, you are able to do this. I am just going to use a couple props that I have from home. I have a fuzzy blanket, and I've just gone ahead and rolled that up to make what we call a bolster. And then I also have a pillow that I might use a little bit later on. You don't have to use any props, but if you have a blanket, a pillow, or both at home, maybe go ahead and grab them so that you can use them if they feel, if it feels inviting to you today. I'm going to go ahead and take a seat on my makeshift bolster. I like to do it because it elevates the hips and it makes some of the movements a bit more inviting. We're going to start by connecting with our breath. Whatever yoga class you go to, whatever style of yoga it is, your instructor is almost always going to ask you to first find your breath. So let's go ahead and do that now. I'm going to take an easy seat, just crossing my legs. I'm going to allow the palms of my hands to rest on my knees, closing my eyes, and I'm just going to check in and start to notice my breath. So taking just a few slow, deep inhales and exhales. Beginning to find that breath in my belly again, allowing the belly to gently open on each inhale. And on the exhale, releasing the breath, drawing everything back to center. The next thing we're going to do is add some movement. So on the inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, reaching the fingertips towards the sky. And then take a moment here, shrug your shoulders down your back, moving the shoulders away from the ears, creating a bit of space. And then imagine reaching those fingertips towards the sky. We're just gonna pause here for 3 full breaths. So just inhaling and exhaling. And 2 more. On the next inhale, reach up, and on the exhale, drop your left arm to the ground. We're going to inhale, reaching up, and then exhale over to the side. We're just starting to bring a nice stretch into the side body. And the most important thing here is to continue breathing. So in yoga, if we lose our breath, we're losing the yoga. So go ahead and just check in and make sure that you are still having a nice inhale and exhale. On that next inhale, we're gonna reach to the sky again. And exhale, the right palm down to the mat. Lengthen through the left side. And then exhale over to the right. You might want to close your eyes here. You can even just gently gaze down at the ground. That might feel more comfortable to your neck. Taking one more inhale and exhale here. On the next inhale, we're going to reach up towards the sky again. We're going to do this one more time on each side. So exhale the palm to the left, extend the right arm towards the sky, and then exhale over. You might start to notice maybe this goes a little bit farther than the first time as you start to gently open. If you'd like, you can roll that top shoulder back, creating a bit more space through the front body. And then again, gaze down at the floor or even gaze up towards the ceiling or the sky. Go ahead and take one more inhale and exhale here. On that next inhale, reaching up towards the sky, exhale the right palm over, extending, and then exhaling to the side. Again, you might want to roll that top shoulder back, creating a bit more space through the front body. Go ahead and take one more inhale and exhale here. We're going to inhale, reaching up, bring the palms together. Then we're going to exhale the palms down to center. And in yoga, a lot of times you'll hear the phrase that we're going to exhale to heart center. So bringing the palms together, resting the thumbs at the heart center. Okay, so we're going to move on to another gentle movement that allows us to again connect with our physical self and to connect our movement with our breath, which is a big part of our yoga practice. So if you have sensitive knees, what you can do is unroll the blanket and place it underneath. I'm going to set mine to the side for today. Just come down onto the ground. But again, we always want to make sure that we're comfortable in our practice. So use blankets, pillows, any props that support you. From here, we are going to come into tabletop. Bringing the palms wide, fingers stretched out, gives us a nice support for the upper body. Knees are going to be about hip width or shoulder width apart. And from here, we're going to move with our breath. So on our inhale, we're going to allow the belly to drop. We'll get this nice curve in the spine. We might roll the shoulders back, gaze up gently, and then exhale, draw the belly button towards the spine, releasing the breath, and round through the back. So I'm just going to show you a few motions of cat-cow. And then on your own, I'll ask you to just practice and follow along. Inhale, drop the belly, gaze up. Exhale, round through the back. Inhale, we're reaching the tailbone back, gazing upward. Exhale, round through the back. Okay, so take a moment here, go through about 5 rounds of cat and cow. That movement of cow is rolling the shoulders back, that gentle sway to the spine, gazing up, and then cat rounding through the back, just like a cat. Practice that and move with your breath and move at your own pace. There's no expectation as to how large the movement has to be, how quickly you have to move. Take your time. Follow your breath and just start to feel into your body. The third pose that I'd like to share with you guys today is what I would say is probably a staple posture for any yoga practice. Even a power yoga class, a restorative class, you almost always will come back to child's pose at some point. The purpose being that it's one of the most inviting, grounding postures that you can come to, and it's definitely one of my favorites. So I'm going to show you a couple ways to get into that posture and then invite you to find your own child pose for today and spend a little bit of time there. So I'm just going to show you what my knees will look like. I'm going to bring my big toes together and my knees really wide. And then I'm going to just start to extend my fingertips out in front of me. Imagine my tailbone reaching towards the back wall, and just start to come down, resting my forehead on the ground. Now, we can always use our props to make this more inviting for all of us. So another really nice option is if you have a pillow, create a little support for your upper body. So depending on how tall your pillow is, maybe you roll up that blanket on top of it. And then again, big toes come together, knees wide, and you just allow the upper body to come down onto the pillow. And you might turn your cheek to one side. And then just find your breath. Another option here would be to come back to using the blanket to support the knees. I can come back to my big toes together, knees wide, or if that doesn't feel inviting to you, what you can do is just bring the knees to where it feels comfortable and come down like so. So whatever option calls to you, take a minute to explore getting into child's pose. It should be a posture that feels grounding, that allows you to reconnect with your breathing and to reconnect with yourself. Once you've found that particular space that feels inviting to you, close your eyes, allow your shoulders to relax, relax through the face, relax through the jaw, and find your way back to your belly breath, right? Always coming back to the root of yoga, which is our breath. Child's pose is a wonderful place to do that because no one can see your belly. You can just allow the belly to naturally expand on the inhale, releasing, drawing back to center on the exhale, and take a minute to slow down, to connect with your breath and yourself after some of those movements. As you're doing that, think of any questions that you might have so that when we meet together at the end of the week on our live call, that we can take some time to talk through some of those questions. And have a wonderful day.